What's good, YouTube? It's your boy Vontae the First, and I'm back again with another Jujutsu Kaisen reaction. That rhyme. I got bars. Ain't gotta do nothing about my skin color of me being black. Maybe it does. Anyway, we here with chapter 269 of Jujutsu Kaisen. The chapter title is called Consideration. This is the third to last chapter of the series. I'm hoping that Gege finishes this out strong. It's been decent so far. It's been serviceable for me. I know a lot of people have been, complaining and doing all this, doing that. But I've always been I've always had this perspective when it comes to series endings. It's hard. It's really hard for a lot of these authors to end series, you know what I'm saying? Not a lot of them have like excellent endings. All of them has like decent, kind of satisfying, not satisfying to trash, you know what I'm saying? But so far, I think it's serviceable. The last chapter, I will say that the pacing was real quick. But it is what it is. I actually really enjoy Sukuna's death because in this series, we've learned that nobody has a proper death. That was literally Yuji's whole thing early on in the season about giving people proper deaths and all that. No one has that. Not even Sukuna. You see the way that he died? He would never have imagined that he would die, ever, for one. But even in that way, never. You know what I'm saying? So I think that was very fitting for his death. Obviously, the Heian era stuff is the stuff that a lot of people have been wanting, me, myself included. However, I still feel like it wasn't something that was like promised to us or nothing like that. But I think Gege does know. So if he ends up wanting to do like a prequel at some point or doing something, a one-shot something, I think he will, because even with the dialogue, like Udame telling Hikari that like, yo, if y'all was living in our time, y'all got lucky. Y'all got lucky right now. If it was back in the day, it would have been up. And we've gotten that from a lot of characters. Sukuna, Tengen, Kenjaku, the Angel, Udame, like all these older sorcerers, the ancient ones from the Heian era. A lot of them always have some kind of dialogue that makes you just want to see that. Like with Kenjaku talking to Tengen, saying that he was his old friend, or goodbye old friend, like all that kind of stuff, you know what I'm saying? But other than that, in the chapter, we got the letters that Gojo sent to both Nobara and Megumi. Nobara about her mother, but she didn't care. And Megumi, he told Megumi, I killed your dad, haha, LOL. Which is something that Gege did promise in an interview before, that Megumi will learn about his father in some kind of capacity. So he did learn that. And then at the end of the chapter, Yuta, Akoto Yuta, is something's going on with him. Obviously, I'm sure it has something to do with the whole body hop copy technique, Gojo body, all that jazz. But I'm ready to get into this chapter. I just have to make the intros a little longer now since it's the last chapters of the series. So I'm just kind of doing like longer recaps. So my bad if there's people that's like, no, let me get to the video. Just skip ahead. You'll see where I'm at while I'm reading. All right. But with that being said, let's get into this chapter, man. Chapter 269, Consideration. All right. What's going on? On the street corner at the candy shop. Okay, so we also have a candy shop. I like the art here, by the way. How much? Fucking May, man. Who was this guy? This old guy with his eye, one eye open, one eye closed. I don't want to see May, man. Okay, so we just like, I thought I skipped the page. I thought I skipped the page. All right, so we going to Maki. Yuta, you bastard! Just because you've returned to your original body doesn't mean it's all happy endings. It's funny, that dialogue right there. Happy endings, huh? Interesting, Gege. Is that some kind of foreshadow? But he's in his body again. How the fuck did they pull that off? Because his body, I thought his body was Dunzo. I thought it was going to be in Gojo's body. It's interesting that he has the stitches still. Well, I guess, it makes sense, but yeah, it makes sense. Anyway, let me continue. Maki, yo, Megumi, how's it going? How's it going? My head feels foggy, but is this actually because of Unlimited Void? Didn't know it felt like this. Oh, okay, so now we're getting the effects of Megumi with the whole Unlimited Void. Because that's another thing people asking about, like, what happened with that? Like, shouldn't he be like brain dead or some shit like that? But obviously, no. I'd like to sincerely apologize to everyone. Save it for later, and there's nothing you need to apologize for anyway. Yeah, it's all good, bro. We understood. Especially Yuji, he definitely understood, but everybody else did too. No, but I do have something to apologize for. Yuji, what he talking about? The root of it is Gojo's mistake of not killing Itadori, which is true. And the funny is coming from Kusakabe, because remember back in Shibuya, he was like, yo, I was all for it. I'm all for the execution of Yuji. Obviously, even though he's been training Yuji, that's how he was one of the people that helped Yuji get stronger too. over that little 1 month break into the final showdown in Shinjuku. So, but things change, people change, we all change. What was that from? What movie is that from? Some Elite franchise. If I can change, you can change. No? All right, anyway. And things turned out, Itadori, and as things turned out, Itadori became a victim of Kenjaku's curse technique terrorism. Right. For the record, I was all for Itadori's death sentence. If not for Yaga, I wouldn't be around. Right. But I don't think it was wrong, nor am I saying I told you so. It's just that everyone's truths have clashed to create the present. True. So you guys don't need to feel guilty. For heaven's sake, just act like kids already. It's making me feel like an old timer. Wow. It's hard in this world. Hard to do that. So how did Okotsu's body come back to normal? That's what I've been thinking about in the back of my mind. It's all thanks to Rika, which, right, there's the answer right there. I thought that when Rika didn't follow Master Gojo's body, the connection between Rika and me was lost. But in reality, Rika used reverse curse techniques to repair and sustain my body, which was treated by Airi. This makes sense. I thought I was dead when Kenjaku's technique was burnt out in the domain, and that's why she was wrapped around his body. Because we was wondering, like, why was she wrapped around his body, like, already, like, mourning him, even though he was in Gojo's body at the time. So there's that. So we kind of circle back to that pretty much. Makes sense. Using her curse energy, use reverse curse technique, and then have Airi still do the procedures on him anyway. Yeah, that part caught us off guard. We assumed Kenjaku could act after using domain. We assumed Kenjaku could act after using domain. They probably managed to intentionally separate and use multiple techniques through some means, likely an application of barrier techniques. The level of imitation between a millennial veteran and a mere bot is on a different level of sophistication. Damn. Why is Panda just sitting on his back? Once the technique recovered, Rika, as an external technique, reconnected with my unconscious state, and we somehow ended up here. I apologize for any worry caused. I don't care about any such story. The issue here is that if Yuta had played his cards right, he might have won with less difficulty. We kind of seen that, like, the fact that he wasn't even used to being in Gojo's body, like, even though we know that they did the body swap thing, because we seen briefly him and Gojo talking to each other in each other's bodies, big pause, but, like, also, they were, like, I remember he was saying stuff like his arms were too long, you know, like, just the perception and all that, like, is different, because he's in somebody else's body. This nigga's Gojo's, like, 6'3", Yusa's probably, like, 5 something, like, 5'9", or some shit like that. Probably even shorter, who knows, but, like, there's a lot of different things, and that's just one of the simplest things I can remember off the top of my head. But obviously it seemed like Maki about to say it. First, Kenjaku's surprise attack, I should have been the one to handle it after all. Following that, Higuruma's executioner's sword strategy. Had we combined this with Toge's remote curse words, we could have won more easily. I should have had Higuruma hold the voice recorder. I like that she's talking like there's things that they could have done differently to, like, save people, or just in general that could have just made things a lot easier for them, which that's the whole point of her saying it. She literally says it herself. But it just kind of goes to show that, like, they were really trying their hardest. Things didn't work. That's one thing I really love about JJK, and I'm not gonna go on a long tangent, but I just love the realism when it comes to, like, the things that need to happen in order to defeat these fucking antagonists. In other series, it's simply because the MC gets powerful enough to defeat them. But in this series, it's like, no, they have to do all these different things on the fly and things that they prepared, you know, within that month of training to get to the point now. So I like that. There's a lot that they have to do, you feel me? Okay, we see Akari, Kirara, Ino, my boy Toto right there, yes sir. Okay, you can't activate multiple curse words simultaneously, and since recording to playback is considered as still active, only one voice recorder can be used. Okay, no, Maki, you can't become the target of my boogie woogie technique. Even Okotsu would have had a tough time succeeding in the surprise attack without my support. Moreover, to stop the rampage of the curse manipulation technique, the abilities of Okotsu and Rika were indeed necessary. Toge's curse words also had to be timed just right, otherwise the backlash would have been much worse. Had it been used when Sukuna was at his strongest, wouldn't the backlash have been deadly? Semi. Sukuna was merely toying with me and could have killed me any time. If Okotsu had been a around, I would have been wiped out in an instant. Is that Higuruma? Because, you know, him and Kusakabe be looking similar, but I didn't remember Kusakabe having an arm in a sling. Interesting. Besides, yep, it is. And besides, curse words are likely easy to deal with, aren't they? I made the decision that it should be used within Okotsu's domain barrier where there are no external threats. In my domain, acts of harm are impossible after all. Even so, it's terrifying that someone who's only been a sorcerer for 2 months is still alive. It would be more accurate to say that I managed to survive. Even so, my boy usually looking at him like, damn, he alive? It's crazy how different things are in this series. Like especially for Yuji, when it comes to him, like how he reacts to death. If it was early on, he would have been all like, oh my gosh, Higuruma, oh my gosh, and you know, doing all that. But now it's like, oh shit, well, what's up, man? Shit. I'm glad that Higuruma got to survive, though. I'm glad. Like, I know people probably like, oh, Disney. This is JJK, motherfucker. There's a lot of characters that fucking died in the series. Damn near half the cast died in this series. Pretty much, you know what I'm saying? At least, like, pivotal characters, especially all the antagonists, literally all died. Choso, Yuki, Gojo, Nanami, you know, Toji. A lot of people died in the fucking series. You get my point. Those foreign reinforcements and Miguel and Laru, if they had been around from the start, things would have been different. Totally. Everybody just in agreement with each other, and look at you too. Wow. Those two said they weren't coming. We should have seriously considered that they might actually come. They actually came, didn't they? Hey, easy there. This definitely is a very dialogue heavy chapter, but I think this is one of those needed chapters just so we can go over everything, like their reactions to what happened. Because I've seen people, I forgot if I was watching somebody live stream and somebody in chat was talking about it, or I've seen it on Twitter. I remember seeing people saying that like they wanted them to like celebrate after defeating Sukuna. I'm like, what the fuck celebrate? Nah, they just trying to, they just relieved right now, but now they're going over everything, so now we're getting the reactions to everything, how they felt and all that stuff. But this chapter is pretty interesting. I want to see how, if it keeps flowing like that to the end. We'll see. It's gonna be a long video. It's gonna be 20 minutes, over 20 minutes for sure. I'm already at 12 minutes, but anyway, with the help of Kosu's curse tools, I was able to hide my fingers as well. A simple pair of work gloves would work for that too. Just saying. It's because of Okotsu that we managed to stop Sukuna's second domain expansion. That's the whole point. If we had acted earlier, it wouldn't have come to that. They are really just going back and forth about like whose plan was right at what time. If this person came here earlier, did this at this time, it would have been worse or better or whatever. You know what I'm saying? It was good that we were able to stay within Rika. After Gojo, we were able to immediately pursue Sukuna and quickly separate Urame from him. It's thanks to Okotsu that this occurred. Okay, what's going on here? The fuck is this? Oh, is that like just the TVs in Shinjuku that we had or something? Why is it in the air like that? I don't know. I bear a lot of responsibility as well. Despite preparing for Sukuna's domain in collaboration with Miss May, I wasn't able to capture Choso and Itadori. Right, yeah. So everybody's just saying things that they wish that they could have done better. Is the issue related to the range of the technique? No, it's more about Sukuna's curse energy than the distance. The center of that domain has such strong curse energy from Sukuna that I failed to capture the curse energy of the two. I was at the center too, but since we swiftly took care of it, it's partly my responsibility. Chozo deserved to be saved. If that had happened, I would have died. It's nobody's fault. Yep. It's not that I want to pin the blame on Yuta. I got hit by Black Flash twice myself. The thing is, this guy, never mind. Talking about Yuta. Yeah, your mans. Sometimes I feel like I'm skipping pages, but I'm not. It's just because all these characters are like saying stuff. I was really shaken. Being on standby with Maki's marker and the domain countermeasures, I couldn't help but think, what if Todo's technique ends up saving just me? Didn't you say you weren't joining the battle? I didn't get involved, but I knew you would definitely be against it if I brought it up. I feel like I should apologize for not being of any use. Of course, don't even say nothing. I honestly just save your breath. You know what I'm saying? You're probably one of the sorriest people between the two classes, between Kyoto and Tokyo. Yeah, you are the sorries. Anyway, what are you talking about? It was a smooth ride when it was your turn. I was planning to take on Sukuna after dealing with Urame, but man, she was strong. Yeah. Oh, she. Is that the first time that we got Urame's actual, or is it just a translation I'm reading? I'm not reading TCB, so I'm going to have to read TCB when they drop theirs, and then obviously the officials on Sunday. But is Urame confirmed to be a woman? Okay. I was asleep until the last minute, so I can't comment. No bar said shit. You know what I'm saying? It appears everyone has their own thoughts of regret. I'm sure no one disagrees that I'm the MVP. Shut the fuck up. Even though you were, I mean, you saved Hugeduma, as we can see right here. You know what I'm saying? You were getting people the fuck up out of there. He did do that. I'm not gonna lie. You left me behind after panicking midway. Kirata, you're quite heavy. In return, you got to be relaxed because my sister did the hard part. My sister really worked hard on the new shadows, didn't she? That's also picking out the best parts, isn't it? I want to say something right now. This chapter, to me, I don't know if I'm just coping, but like the fact that we're all like going over what we could, it's like in sports, like when you have a game, whether you win or lose, you're going over the, you know, film and seeing what you did right, what you did wrong to prepare for the next game. Like, why do I feel like this chapter is like really, like, this is not necessary for the narrative to get everybody's different perspectives of what they could have done better, things that they regret doing, things that they like that they ended up doing. But like, it makes me feel like they're preparing for like another battle or some shit. And I don't know how that would work if there's only 3 chapters left, unless there's a part 2 or something. But I don't know. I don't think there's gonna be a part 2, man. I feel like a part 2 for Horikoshi makes more sense than JJK right now. I'm not sure if Gege, because he's been saying he wanted to end JJK since 2021. So like, you know what I'm saying? I don't know, but we'll see. You know, never say never nowadays. I don't deny it. Anyway, I don't deny it. My life can't be exchanged for money, and if it can't be, then it's not worth the gamble. New shadows. Are you talking about the restriction on the simple domain being off limits? That's right. The binding of the simple domain on the family lineage. It was originally created by the mastermind Sadatsuna Ashiya to prevent the techniques from leaking out to the curse users. Okay. Over time, as generations passed, the new shadow style lost their public utility, and the simple domain essentially became a trade secret. In the bar in Ichigo, like, I don't know what the fuck you're talking about. The bottom line is that they keep the technique to themselves, bring in followers, and enforce unreasonable limitations. The new shadow styles also provide a base for sorcerers who don't possess their own techniques. Todo, who was taught by Yuki Sakuma, learned the technique through the Mekamaru style. Right, something that we already know. We seen that in Shibuya when he had did it against Mahito, but like now we're getting the logistics behind it and all that. It's interesting because we never got that. So it seemed like Gege is just giving us a lot of info dump of a lot of stuff to like elaborate and tell us how things happen and how things work. If anybody, I think this is like Big Gege talking to the readers who probably were like, okay, so what happened here? How did they end up pulling that off? How did, you know what I'm saying? Because there was a lot of that during this Shinjuku showdown, but you know what I'm saying? Anyway, where's the flaw in the restriction that new shadow style techniques must not be taught to anyone other than the disciples? That only is a part of, that's only part of it. There are additional complications like not being able to turn down deployment orders from the head of the family. Among these, the most troublesome issue is lifespan. This is more akin to a curse than a technical restriction or technique, which makes it a significant issue. It seems that the head of the new shadow style extracts a dark wish from the disciples. Interesting. What? Lifespan. See the clock. In new shadows, the head's identity is kept secret. Thus, the contract about lifespan is real, but the details of its implementation are unclear. Some elderly disciples live for a long time. When the head dies, a senior disciple takes their place, but unless the new head reveals themselves, it's not possible to tell them from the outside. The restriction of the new shadows style can only be lifted by the head of the family. As far as I know, none of the senior disciples possess information about the head of the family. He's not here, is he? And Mei said, and Nabar looking at her like, what? Ah, right. I'm the current head of the new shadows. What? Huh? I mean, surprise, surprise, but it makes sense. He was like the first character that we learned. Yeah, because of Miwa. She was the first person we seen doing that, and we know that this is our mentor, so, her sensei. Therefore, the restrictions of the simple domain and the curse of lifespan are no longer a problem. Huh. That's interesting. But why would Gege introduce that now? What's the point? See, that's my point. What's the point of talking about this now if the fight is over, the series is about to end? What's the point of that? We don't need to know that. Because, like, the lifespan of the user is fine now. Like, it don't even matter no more. But, like, it's interesting that that's a thing that we're being told now. You know what I'm saying? It seemed like it would have made way more sense if we learned this earlier. And then Kusakabe came up with this after the fact. But this is not something that we question. It sounds like something that Gege is telling us, like answering questions that we had, but we never asked. So that's why this is strange to me. Do leave a bit of the joining benefits. Eventually, we will become the head and will be receiving substantial monthly fees from the disciples. And no. Get the fuck out of here. You're such a penny pincher, sis. Seems like curses are entertaining the world of subscriptions. How much? So we're going to. So is that the head right now? That old dude? So we're going back to the beginning of the chapter with man. It concerns your life. Why here? You think I'm the head? I merely inquired with someone who knows. Grow the disciples to rival the way. It's impossible for anyone to know. Grow the disciples to rival the three great families in power. Your plan was to control the entire Jujutsu world as well as the general headquarters, wasn't it? Tengen. What? Hold up. Okay. Let me finish this. It required a long time, and you went so far as to drain the lifespan of the disciples just to see the view you wanted, didn't you? It's truly a grand ambition that money can't buy. And now, after the fall of the Zenin clan, and with both the Kamo and Gojo clans destined to perish in this battle. However, the things more important than money are things that can be protected without it. What the fuck? Without the monopoly on the simple domain, some sorcerers might have lived. And above all, with them aiming to harm my brother, this was inevitable. And what the fuck? The price for this is life. Only 2 chapters to go until the story wraps up. What is this chapter? I'm gonna need clarification in the comments for this chapter. I'm not gonna lie to you. I mean, I know this is new for all of us, so it's like, what the fuck? That's my point. What is Gege doing? Why are you introducing new, like, plot points and explanations for things that we never questioned? At least I haven't. Personally, I haven't questioned the new shadow styles and different, like, parameters about that. And you know what I'm saying? Like, I just thought, oh, this is a technique that you're using that can combat, is like a little domain, like, that can combat, you know what I'm saying? Because you don't have, mostly for people who don't have domain expansions, like a Todo, for example, they use them as an example to combat against it, you know what I'm saying? So, like, I never thought that much into it after that point. I just thought that's what it was, that's what it was going to be. I didn't think that there's more logistics and history behind that, which is cool though. You know what? I think at some point I kind of did think like, I wonder who developed this, because like, what is new shadow style? Like, what is that? Like, why is it called new shadow style and all this stuff? But that was way back, and I just like, okay, whatever, I guess we won't learn about it. But now we're learning all about it, and now we're learning about somebody that's literally what the fuck is going on? This guy, and I'm confused about the Tengen line. Is he Tengen or because it seems like it's coming from him? So your plan was to control the entire Jujutsu world as well as the general headquarters, wasn't it? And then that guy says Tengen, and he's sweating and shit. What does this mean, y'all? What do y'all think? I'm feeling like, I mean, I know it says we only got 2 chapters left, but I don't think this thing should be. Why would you do like a brand new plot point with only 2 chapters after this to go? So 3 chapters overall. What is that for? Are we ending on a cliffhanger for the series and Gege is going to continue doing another series? I got a lot of questions, but let me know down below, because this video is already really long. Let me know down below. What do you guys think about this? Hey man, I don't know, but let me know down below. I hope you guys all have a good ones. Please stay safe, stay healthy, stay clean. See you guys on the next video. See you guys next week for JJK, because I will be back obviously as early as possible to give you guys my reaction and review to the chapter. So hope to see you guys in, and peace.